Live.
We're live, I think. Let me just wait for the picture. I need to see the picture. If I don't see the picture, I don't know if it's working. Yes, picture is there. Is it working? No, it's not, because I need to go full screen. There we go. How amateur of me. Let me see now. Is that better? It looks... it'll have to do. It'll have to do. Okay, your cameras looked... Yeah, look, okay. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monkey Tail Podcast. I'm your host, Bruno Pinto, and with me as ever, I have my friend slash co-host, Mr. Marius Dunkley.
Hello, everybody, again.
Hello, everyone, again. And Captain of the Boat, down there, I'm trying to point at him, Mr. Ben Jenkins. He looks like he had a haircut. What happened there?
Yes, I did. I popped in to see a friend, and I remembered that his wife cuts hair. So I was like, "Is she around? Can she cut my hair?" So she did a very quick trim. But, I still need a beard cut.
Well, I went for a walk the other day around here because nice country walks you can do by the fields and everything. And there was a farmer shearing his sheep, and I did think to myself, can I just put my head there quickly, see what happens, and see if he doesn't notice and just give me a quick haircut? But I don't think
you could have just asked him while you're there. Would you mind?
Can you just run the sides, please? Like I'll just act like a sheep, like let's put my head in there. But then
act like a sheep.
That's how sheep walk. That's how sheep walk, I believe.
How many sheep have you seen?
I've never seen a sheep in my life. Isn't that how they walk? No.
I've never seen a sheep doing that before, to be honest.
I thought that's how they walked, but what do I know? What do I know? Right. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing some interesting things here. Let's start. We normally start the show always with a question, but I'm going to move on from the question to. Oh, still a question. Do you guys see the PS5 launch event? Yes or no?
Yes,
we did.
We talk about it then. Yes, let's talk about that. Let me just get my my ducks in a row here, like they say. I watched the event. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was actually streaming for the first part of it, and then I caught the tail end of it, and then I went and watched the trailers from the games that were previously announced. So I didn't watch the whole show, but I watched all the trailers, which is, I guess the same thing. Can we start first with the most unimportant question that everyone is asking, but I know we don't care. But what do you guys think about the PS5 itself, the look of it?
It's weird. The disc one looks like it's pregnant. The other one looks the no disc version looks better. I don't like the look of the pregnant one, but again, I don't really care. It's as long as it does the pretty graphics things on the telly. That's all I really care about.
Pretty graphics on the telly. I'll tell you exactly how my thought process went, and I promise you, this is how it went exactly. Yeah. Saw the fat one, the one with the pot belly, and I was like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Then I saw the digital only edition. I'm like, all right, that's a bit better. That's still stupid because it looked like the design was that so they can only be upwards, right? And then they were not showing it going horizontal. Then I'm like, I said, that's so fucking stupid. What have they done? And then they tweeted out a version of it horizontal. I'm like, I don't care anymore. Fine, it's gonna go under the TV. I immediately stopped caring what it looked like. So that was literally like how it was step by step like that.
How enormous it is.
It's tall, isn't it? It is.
I've seen a time like a scale thing against like the other consoles. And yeah, it is absolutely massive.
So they haven't released the actual dimensions. However, people by measuring the part where you put the CD-ROM, what am I talking about? The Blu-ray part, that they were able to do the scale. It's tall, isn't it? I would say this. I think, and the question that our listeners are going to be asking is, which one do you think looks best, the Xbox or the PS5? The Xbox Series X, in my opinion, looks infinitely better. However, because you can also put it horizontally or vertically, but because it's a lot wider than the PlayStation, I'm not sure it will fit on a lot of people's counters, because some of them have they haven't got the height. They might have the the width, but not the height, if that makes sense. So that's my only thing. Well, even though it's tall, it should fit on my TV cabinet. But this is what I'm saying. That one is quite tall, and the Xbox is quite wide when it's horizontal, or tall when it's horizontal. You know where I'm coming from. So I think there's going to be issues fitting either of them on a lot of people's consoles.
Yeah, that's some proper fucking first world problem shit going on there.
I think so.
No, I'm not going to be able to fit my brand new next gen console into my TV stand. I'm going to have to get rid of the old one as well because it won't fit.
No, absolutely.
I heard someone say that obviously it looks futuristic now, but it's going to look incredibly dated back in 5 years' time. Out of all of the consoles, obviously black boxes sort of age okay, but this one's going to look very 2020.
I don't think it looks 2020. This is time for one of my popular opinions. I think the PlayStation 5 looks dated already. It looks like it was designed 10 years ago by Alienware, and I think
yes.
And I think the Xbox Series X looks futuristic. And I think in 5-10 years, the Xbox Series X is still going to look like a cool console, and this one's going to look exactly what it looks like already, a dated Alienware. It looks like, remember when we had the Alienware X, was it the X61 we had, or whatever it was called? Remember Area 51, I think it was called. Remember you and I had the same model. Yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? It looks a lot like that Alienware that we bought 10 years ago, how long ago it was. Yeah, so it's a dated design already. Anyway, it's ugly, but it doesn't mind. It not important. What is important is the games. No price announced. I saw a meme on Twitter, which was hilarious, of like a Mexican standoff. I believe that's the term, a Mexican standoff. I think is that the term, a Mexican standoff? Am I?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not being racist.
Right, yeah.
that is the actual term.
I don't know.
It might be racist.
I'm totally backing away from that question and this whole thing. To be honest.
I believe that's the term used in movies anyway. But anyway,
we are the wrong people to have that conversation.
I know. But you have like PlayStation, like and obviously the Xbox all pointing the guns, they know who's going to shoot first. I think price wise, I think the PlayStation 5, because they have the 2 editions, I think the digital edition is going to be at least 100 quid cheaper, I reckon.
It's got to be 100 quid cheaper.
Yeah.
It can't be less than 100 quid cheaper. I don't think it would make enough difference for anyone to bother
going for that, of course.
Yeah.
And we're interested to see if Xbox does it as well, because they haven't announced a digital only edition yet, I don't believe.
Was there not some sort of leak yesterday that there might be a leak? There's like a half height Xbox One, Series X. Have you seen that?
You see, no, I haven't seen that. That makes a lot of sense to me because on the design they made, if you look at the design of the Xbox Series X, it's obviously that cube design, that tower design, and because of the Blu-ray, it takes away half of the thing. So yes, I could see them, considerably getting something a bit smaller, but I don't know. We'll see. But yes, the digital editions are going to be cheaper, I would imagine, quite a lot cheaper. Yeah, they have to be, and I'll be interested to see what the prices are. Who do you think is gonna shoot first, so to speak? Then who do you think is gonna give the price first?
Microsoft.
Yeah,
you think it'll be Microsoft? Because
I think Sony are purposely, they are holding back and waiting so that if they need to, they can undercut.
And you think Microsoft is not capable of doing the same thing?
No, I know they're capable of it, but I just think it's less important to them than it is to Sony.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft have all of the money already.
Yeah.
So I think it's not as big an issue for the Microsoft business as it is for the Sony business.
And do you think Microsoft could go something like, fuck it, we'll, for the digital only edition, we're gonna give a stupid price that we know for a fact Sony cannot match. If they do, they're gonna be losing money. Do you think they'll just go like, fuck it, we'll call you a bluff then? I hope they do anyway.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
If they go like, we have Game Pass, so we don't give a fuck. We'll
I don't think they're
300.
going to give it away.
300. What do you think if Microsoft goes like 300, like something stupid like that?
I mean, that would be astonishing. Not going to happen.
Can you
by
imagine?
any stretch of the
They'll be competing with the Switch at that price. Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. It's interesting to talk about these things. That's what I miss about E3 is this the price stuff and the console, especially E3. Missing E3 on console here, it's a tragedy. Isn't it?
It absolutely is. I really am missing. It's just because I don't know what's going on. I found about the EA thing by accident just before it was on. To be honest with you, I used to like just having. There's 2 or 3 days where here you go, have everything. That's what I'm missing. But anyway,
we'll talk about the EA thing just after the PlayStation 5. But I feel cheated. I feel cheated on the EA thing. I'll tell you for why. Because this is how it was sold to me. Because I found out by accident as well on one of the WhatsApp chat group things. Rumors that Mass Effect Trilogy remaster being announced at EA. I'm like, ooh, maybe KOTOR remaster. I'm like, ooh, Bad Company 2 maybe, or Bad Company 3. I'm like, ooh, this is something like a great show. And go and watch it, and spoiler alert, none of those things were there. So I was like, give me one of those things. The Mass Effect Trilogy remaster sounded plausible, so where's that? Anyway, whatever.
Are EA still sticking by there? We're not going to do remasters type. From a top-down perspective, they were like, "No, we don't need to. We're going to concentrate on new IP. We don't need to do remasters. Nobody wants them." That was a little while ago, but
no, yeah, I think it sounds like they are, and it's a shame because they have some great games that could make a great. I mean, can you imagine a Resident Evil 2 quality remake of Dead Space? Yeah, I'll take that.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know what I mean. So there's certain things
that noise that Ben just made. That sums it up.
That's what I'm saying. So they have the IPs to make some great remakes. So I mean, on a much larger scale, a KOTOR remake with the mechanics brought to 2020, but the same story and everything, that would be great as well. So they certainly have the IPs to make some great stuff. They just obviously choose not to. And when it comes to Capcom, they're going like, we don't care. We're making all the money with the Resident Evil remakes, And I mean, the third one, well, accounts not as good as the second one, but great anyway. But okay, let's move on to PlayStation because that's what we were talking about. Why don't you guys pick 1 or 2 games each to talk about? Because there's quite a lot of games, and then we'll pick up the stragglers after that. Marius, pick one game first.
Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
That's all my
Rift
games.
Apart. Yeah. Right, so that looked gorgeous, right? But
yeah, I mean, I think I did squeal a little bit when that first came on. Like immediately, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "This is Ratchet and Clank." I'm so excited. I've loved that series right from the beginning. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's funny, good gameplay, excellent guns. I'm so happy, and what it does with that, like going from world to world through these rifts like instantly, is absolutely phenomenal. Like I can't remember what it was. Another podcast probably he put it so well. It's like that is the best advert for the like Sony's going on about their SSD and how it limits loading times and all that sort of stuff, and no loading times. That is the greatest advert for that technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just looks so good.
It looked great, and the moving between biomes so quickly like that was phenomenal. And I laughed that when they announced the SSDs as the big thing, one of the big things. I laughed about it. I'm as a PC Master Race guy, I laughed, going like, "Welcome to 2010, guys!" Right? And I laughed again when they said, "Oh, they're fast," because you can get faster SSDs on PC. Of course you can. And then I kept laughing until I realized that I was being an idiot because the big difference here is, yes, I have an SSD on my PC that if a developer was to program a game to utilize that SSD, it will be super fast as well. But developers have to develop with for PC. They have to think of anyone that's running the game on a slower hard drive, or on just on a spinning hard drive, or even on compact memory, lots of different things. Yeah, so they cannot fully utilize the power of the SSD. When it comes to the PlayStation and the Xbox, all of them have SSDs, so the game changes. They can really proper make the game based on those loading times for that SSD, which PC cannot do actually. So I don't know how the games on PC are going to be developed, how they're going to do it, because a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart would not be possible on the PC. Even though my PC is super powerful, it wouldn't be possible unless they programmed it to only work on SSDs, and they cannot do it, right? So I think it's going to be really interesting to see games like that being developed on consoles. For the first time, I actually see a clear advantage on the console part of the market compared to the PC, I think, which is interesting, isn't it?
I saw someone somewhere, don't know who it was, but he sounded more qualified than me.
Yeah.
Who said that actually that SSD on the PS5 is quicker than anything currently on the market for PC.
Did you guys watch the Mark Cerny geeky thing 2 months ago, whenever it was?
Yeah, I did, but don't expect me to remember any detail from it.
Well, I only watched it recently, and obviously he broke down the sort of the modular sections of how the data is handled and stuff, and it does look quite impressive.
Yeah.
So, as Bruno said, how is that going to translate?
I think it's faster in certain elements. That there's certainly you can get Gen 4 SSDs which are fast on PC, but that's what I'm trying to say. But it's not the baseline. The PC baseline is a hard drive, right? I have a hard drive on my PC that I have my movies on, and that's the baseline on PC. And if you look at the Steam, whatever they do, the when they check all the PCs, the survey, that's still quite a lot predominant to what people use is the hard drive, and that's the problem with developing on PC. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe the way to do it is a game like Ratchet and Clank. If you have it on the hard drive, it just says loading. Sorry. But we have to load, and but I think for the first time, that's a clear advantage on the PS on the consoles, both on Series X and on the Xbox, on the PlayStation 5. So pick one, Ben. What game do you want to talk about?
Well, very quickly mention the remake of Demon's Souls. Quite excited for that. Big fan of the original. Not many people played it because I don't think it got a UK release until quite late in the PS3's life cycle. But yeah, I'm quite happy for a Blue Point remake.
One of us in this Monkey Tale has actually completed the game.
Yeah. I have not. I do have it, but it was back when I love the concept of it, but I'm shit at it, so I've never actually played too much of it.
And it would be interesting to know that one person is not me. It's Marius, actually. Marius has completed the Demon's Souls. I played all the Dark Souls. I played Bloodborne and Sekiro. I haven't completed Sekiro. I've started playing Sekiro again. And I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to laugh, yeah? I'm a final boss now, and I've stopped streaming it now. I don't think I can beat the final boss. It's that hard.
Wow.
It's that hard. It's too fast for me. The guy's just too fast for me. Just keeps fucking me up. Anyway, whatever. Yes, I'm super excited about the Demon's Souls remake. It's made by is it Blue Point that they make?
Blue Point, yeah, the guys that did Shadow of the Colossus, and they've done a lot.
They've done, I'm sure they've done a couple other.
Very
games
good port studio.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm excited for that, and it's games like that and Ratchet and Clank that will mean that I will buy a PlayStation 5, and also Naughty Dog. More on that in a bit. But once you play a Naughty Dog game, you go like, oh yeah, these guys, these guys, they know what they're doing, don't they? These guys know what they're doing. All right, okay, I'll pick Horizon Forbidden West, which is Horizon 2. That looked great as well. I obviously didn't give the first one a fair shake of the stick, I would say. I couldn't get on with the controls. I considered playing it again on the PlayStation. but the game is coming out soon, very soon on PC actually. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go on the PC, ultra wide, all that nonsense thrown in instead, and I'll probably be going like, oh my god, this game is so good, and you guys are gonna like, yeah, I know, you idiot. Yeah, so we'll see, but it looks good, and I'm excited for the second one as well. Can I just throw Gran Turismo in as well? Car games always look pretty, don't they?
Yeah.
New console territory, aren't they? Although there's no way that's a launch game. Classic Gran Turismo, that'll be in about 5 years' time.
With ray tracing,
And it won't have all of the content.
Obviously, all of these games have ray tracing as well enabled, which is great. Marius, you want to pick a couple more games you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do. Despite the horrible name, Returnal.
Yeah, it's just terrible now.
It just, as it comes out of your mouth there, it just feels horrible. Yeah, awful name. But new game from Housemarque of Super Stardust and Resogun fame.
Mm-hmm.
But this time they've moved away from their standard sort of arcadey games, which I wasn't quite sure about that decision. This is more a third-person story-based action-adventure game. But to look at that gameplay, it's still arcadey. It still looks like a bullet hell. I got a bit giddy about that. That does look like a phenomenal game, definitely right up my street. So I am super excited, although no release date for that, so that's potentially a little way off.
Yeah, that looked good. There was another game, I'm trying to find the name here. There was another game which was Deathloop, from the guys that did they had the game.
Dishonored,
that's the one. I was like, come on, Marius, jump in there. That looked awesome. So that looked right up my street in terms of you need to plan your run perfectly, and the enemy is always there. But if you die, go back to the beginning. I love the whole idea of that, and I think that will be. There's a lot to games like that, and I think it's one of those games.
Time loops are like the in thing at the moment. It's like 5 years ago when it was all bows and arrows. Was like you had to have bows and arrows in your game. Nowadays, you've got to have a time loop, or it's old.
I was talking about Quantum League the other day as well. The new game I played as well, which had a time loop mechanic as well. No, I like it, and it's one of those games. I'm gonna love seeing the game where a speed run of that game when somebody just goes and just there's like some weird the path and finishes the game in like 10 minutes or something. So I'm looking forward to watching that. So that looked interesting. I thought you guys would have liked the new Spider-Man, because you obviously both like Spider-Man quite a lot, didn't you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm interested in that, but the other stuff I've already mentioned is more.
More than this one here with Miles Morales.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
It's going to be a nice game to play, but I've not long ago played Spider-Man, so I think it'll be one of those ones that I'll get to eventually. But it will be great. It will be tweaks on the original, and it will look very, very shiny and new. And it's exciting. But there are new IPs that are actually of interest more than anything.
Other than Deathloop, which is going to be a multi-platform game, I think all the games we mentioned so far have been PlayStation originals. They've also showed Resident Evil 8. I don't think there'll be a multi-release, but that looked interesting. There's no mention of VR at all. So I don't know if Resident Evil 8 is going to be VR or not.
There was,
because that was the correct way to play Resident Evil 7.
Yes, I understand that, but what I'm saying is they didn't show anything about 8, if it's going to be VR or not.
It did look very much like it was in a very first person, got your helmet on type scenario, and I'd imagine it would be.
Yes.
Based on 7.
And they also showed Sackboy: A Big Adventure, a Big Adventure. That looked terrible. Sorry.
What the fuck are they announcing that for now on PlayStation 5? That looked like the sort of game that should have been released a couple of years after Little Big Planet. What are you doing, Bruno? Sort your phone out.
My phone has been going crazy. There we go. Sorry about
that. I just don't understand how that is arriving at this point in time. bizarre.
Yeah, no, that game looked weird. I'm always skeptical when I see games like that because, I mean, obviously other developers and publishers are allowed to try games like that, yeah. But that's Mario territory, you know. If you're gonna do a game like that, you're going against Odysseys of this world, and
Yeah.
you need to bring your A game.
And that just seems to be taking all of the good and interesting stuff out of Little Big Planet,
Exactly.
i.e., the creating and the playing other people's creations, and leaving in the worst stuff from that game, which is the platforming. I don't get it. Absolutely don't get it. It's stupid.
No, it is stupid, and yeah, I don't get it either. But anyway, that was the list. Sorry, yeah.
What about that Pragmata? What did we think of that?
Which one was Pragmata? Remind me.
The one that I thought was Death Stranding for a fair amount of the trailer.
Oh, the one where he was seeing the remnants of memories, and then he went to the
where
moon.
he was the dude in a spaceship, spacesuit, and went
awesome,
to the moon with a little girl.
It
did look cool.
But it was I see games like that, trailers like that, and I think to me that's a concept trailer almost. You showed me nothing about the game. You know?
Yeah, but you don't complain about that when Kojima does it, so it's not fair to complain about it when someone else does.
No, I'm not complaining about it, but all I'm saying is I don't know what the game is about. That game could be anything. That game could be a card trading game. Yeah, you know, so I'm saying I don't know what the game is. That's what I'm trying to say. It looked awesome, but I don't know what it is. And also Kojima burned me. Yeah, so now I'm skeptical. I didn't complain about Kojima, but now I'm skeptical about any game unless I know what the fuck it is. You know.
Very good. And the one other thing that I wanted to mention from there was Astro's Playroom. So a free some free stuff from like the Astrobot character. I'm excited about that, but again, they did not mention VR. If that is not in VR, I'm going to be angry.
It looks more like the little playroom thing that was on one of the consoles.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried that they're just going to do a bog standard thing, but I really, really hope there's VR because that is one of probably the best PS VR game that isn't Thumper.
When's Thumper 2 coming, eh?
But certainly the best exclusive PSVR.
Get you. Right. Okay. So, that was PlayStation 5. And did you guys think it was a good show? I think it was a good show myself, personally.
I enjoy. I mean, to be honest, they could have just finished at Ratchet and Clank, and I'd have been happy. That's all they really needed to do. My only disappointment was, give me a date. I just want to know when it's happening now.
It's I think an Enterprise, right? It'll be interesting to see. I think it was better than the Xbox Series X event they did. But I think it's fair to say for the Series X, that wasn't their main thing. They're gonna do a main one now in July. Their proper E3 style one. They're gonna do it soon. So
in response to Sony's one.
No. They always had a plan. They always had a plan. The one they did before was an extra one. So this would have been their E3 thing. So let's reserve that comment till we see the obviously the one from Microsoft. Because they have all the money, like Mario said as well, and they do have some nice game developers as well. So it'll be interesting to see what that's like. Right, so let's quickly talk about EA Live, EA Play Live. I think it's called 2020. I think that's the full name. What a disappointment! Like I said earlier, I was expecting so much from them, and then we got almost nothing. So really. They announced Apex Legends new season. Sims 4 is as well. But actually, it's available on Steam. That was their announcement. That's what is available. Certain games as well that they do are available on the Switch. But the ones that interested me was they show the 3 indie games, 2 of which really interested me, and they showed Star Wars Squadrons. Let's start with the 3 indies. One of them was by Hazel Light's game from Joseph Fares is here. They announced It Takes Two. So this is the guy that did the Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, and A Way Out. Both games I know myself and Marius really like. So because that's the only 2 games he's done, and they're both great, that means that the next one we're excited for, right? He's got a.
I'm looking forward to it. He does some really cool stuff with the sort of co-op thing in Way Out, and although it wasn't co-op, you play it on yourself. Essentially, Brothers was like a co-op game, but it's your right hand cooperating with your left hand.
Brothers was an internal co-op, yes, which is genius if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I mean, the whole trailer was like just him being an arrogant prick.
Yes.
And
just
saying the
watching it
F
now on
word
mute,
just,
and it's just
to
him.
try and look big and clever. So I didn't care for that too much, but
Yeah.
I'm certainly excited about the game.
Yes, I am too as well. And shades of Inside Out, it looked like a lot as well. The movie Inside Out, which was interesting. And Zoink Games, which I'm a fan as well. We lost Marius. Zoink Games announced Lost in Random. It's probably AFK. There we go.
Yeah, there he is.
Here he comes back.
Same shit again. I forgot to change the settings, haven't I?
Got to touch the mouse, Marius.
Still putting me away from keyboard. I need to try and remember to move the mouse.
Yes, I was saying, and then Zoink Games was announced as well with Lost in Random, which I'm a big fan of Zoink Games.
Who are they?
They made the game they made. You know me with names. They made a roguelike I really liked recently, which was you played an insect and it kept going further. It kept going. I mean, it looked great with great. It was like Dark Souls meets. What was it? What was it called? Well, I'm forgetting the name now, but you know me and names. It's like I cannot Google it as I speak. I'll tell you what. I'll give it a quick.
Fee. Zoink Games is the studio behind Faye.
No, it's not that one.
Is that what you're thinking of?
No.
No, Bruno wouldn't have played that.
They did Flipping Death. That's the one they did. Yeah, so I was getting myself confused.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Which I quite liked. Anyway, so that looks interesting. And Rocket Arena looked terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Oh, yeah. No,
I mean,
move on.
Proper bad as well. And people are going crazy about it, going like, oh, it looks really good, Rocket Arena. I'm like, does it? Am I not seeing something that I'm supposed to be seeing? It's...
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you. I just watched the trailers for the EA one. I didn't watch the whole thing, and I just saw the description of the game, and that was enough for me to not bother watching the trailer.
Yeah,
I'm watching it now. It looks like a Unreal Tournament-esque arena.
It's a game where it's a multiplayer where there's only rockets. You only have rockets, but that
was great in GoldenEye, but
there's different type of rockets. GoldenEye is a fucking terrible game as well, by the way. And I know people think that game was good. That game is not good and never been good either. That's my unpopular opinion. Star Wars Squadrons, that look good. I don't like ships.
You don't like ships?
I don't like space shooters like that. It's not my type of game at all. You know why I don't like it? I'm fucking terrible at them.
Yeah, I mean, again, give me that in VR, and I would consider
VR.
it.
It's VR.
Oh, have they confirmed?
It's fully playable in VR. They said that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably in.
Yeah,
it depends on the single player, because like I'm not going to be playing.
No, the single player sounds interesting. So the single player, you create a character in the is it the Rebellions? You create a character in each side, essentially, yeah. And then each mission you playing both sides. You playing one mission, you play one side, and so you see both sides of the conflict. You play, and that's how you play the story mode. You play both sides of the war. That sounds interesting, and it's all playable in VR. The whole thing is playable in VR.
Yeah, I could potentially get on board with that then.
Yeah,
I mean, it does look good. I think visually it looks.
No, yeah, obviously,
really I liked all the way the cockpits are set out and all the instrument panels and stuff on there. I thought, yeah, definitely.
You know a game is going to be difficult to play online when they don't let you play the game online until you finish the single player.
Is that the case?
Yeah, exactly. You need to finish the single
Wow.
player before you can play online. You know the game is going to be difficult online if they don't let you play the game until you finish the
Well,
single player.
maybe they just want people to actually see their fucking work. that they've put into the
Either that
single player.
or you know the game's going to be fucking difficult. They don't want you to get
Yeah.
owned time and time again, you know? So I think that's a great idea. I think more games should have that. You want to play COD online? Fucking finish the single player first, you prick.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think it's great. I genuinely do think that's a great idea. It actually gets people playing the single player.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which very few people finish games, and I think that's a great way to encourage it. The developers have put hard work into getting that on the disc or whatever. So
because we're
yeah,
How
I
long would the
support
single
that.
player have to be before you'd be like, wow, no, I don't want to play 8 hours of this just to play it, so you wouldn't play it at all? Or
myself
it
and
ha-
Marius tend to play the single player only anyway. So to us, that would
Oh,
be
yeah,
an
yeah.
issue. That would be an issue. Where I'm down with that actually. More games should have that. Like Marius said, just if you want to play, or a percentage of it. If you want to play the campaign, sorry, the multiplayer, you need to have finished, I don't know, 40% of the game or something. Play enough that you finish the tutorial part of the game. When they showing you how to play the game or something. I don't know, something like that will be good. Anyway, so that's Star Wars Squadrons. Yeah. And they showed a few other games, but most of them, like nothing special. There was there was no shock announcements. There was no Dead Space 4 or Dead Space Remaster. There was no Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster. There was nothing. Oh, Skate. Sorry, Skate.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
but again, that was just like, we're making Skate. Well done.
They showed Skate at the end. Apparently, Skate got made because of all the comments. So what I think we should start now is people start commenting on Dead Space videos, please. That we won't see Dead Space 4. Just start hitting Dead Space videos with those comments, okay? So that we get a new Dead Space. But I wanted Dead Space 4 going back to Dead Space 1 in terms of the not as shooty as Dead Space 3 was, more like the first one, please. But 4.
I think I'd rather have a remake of the first one than a new Dead Space game. It started going off the rails, to be honest. The first 2 were good. I did not like the third one at all.
Yeah. The first one, yeah. They're awesome to have that. Absolutely. All right, so that was EA. A bit disappointed, like I said. They talked a lot about, because they're now on Steam. So talked a lot about that. Also, they're doing crossplay now, which is great. So now it looks like PlayStation is finally playing ball. So you can do crossplay between PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch already. So that's good with EA. So that's something. I don't know when Sony has agreed to this, but they have. So do you think it's to do with they're a bit scared now of what Microsoft can do with the Series X? Maybe do you think that's why they're playing ball now? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's the thing. Right, let's move on to the playlist and the games we've been playing, if that's okay. I played some new games, but let's start with a game that we both played, and there's gonna be no spoilers. Yeah, I'm gonna start by saying that both myself and Marius have played The Last of Us Part 2. We're not far into the game because the game only came out yesterday. I reckon a couple of hours in, 2.5 hours in, and Marius is maybe what, 3.5 hours in.
Yeah, nearly 4 hours.
So we're not deep into it. So really, going to be first impressions. We're going to be talking about, again, like I said, no spoilers. First impressions, the mechanics of the game, the storytelling, all of that. I think that's probably what we can concentrate on. So Marius, I'll let you take it away. What did you think so far?
Yeah, a bit disappointing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, very disappointing.
Not.
I did see someone give it a 2 out of 10 because the horse balls physics wasn't as good as Red Dead Redemption 2. That was the only reason to say
I respect that. You know what? I haven't even looked at the horse's balls, but that's going to be the first thing I'll be doing when I get back on it. Now you've mentioned it.
No worries. You're welcome.
It is an absolute fucking masterpiece already. This is probably one of the greatest games of all time, and I'm saying that after 4 hours. I mean, visually, first of all, how? I don't understand how this is possible on my bog standard PS4. I wouldn't have been terribly disappointed if someone had said this is a PS5 launch game and this is what PS5 games will look like. To be honest, I wouldn't have been too distraught with that. It looks amazing. I think the story is brilliant so far. I think it's interesting. It harks back to a lot of stuff in the first one. It's emotional. It's brutal. I think it's or maybe this is just the setup in the first few hours, but it certainly seems more story seems to be the driver more than the mechanics so far, which I actually quite like. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't want to say much more until we do our spoiler cast, which I'm confirming is happening now.
Right. I played slightly less than you, and without giving away character names or anything. Obviously, the only character name we can give away is obviously Ellie, because she's on the trailers, right? And she's on the front cover of the game. So early on with Ellie, one of the tutorials showing you how to throw stuff is you do a little fight, a snowball fight. That scene is great. I think that's a great way to humanize the character while showing you the mechanics you're going to be using later on to brutalize and to dehumanize people. So I like that, how the game does that. You just, with a playful snowball fight, showing you mechanics that you're going to use to be killing, runners and clickers and actual people later on. I think that was very well done. The voice acting is perfect. The lip syncing on all the characters, the actual facial, the mocap they use, you're actually seeing some proper performance on it. So I think it's one of those games that anyone can watch. Anyone can sit next to you and just watch play the game, because they're watching a great story. When I played Half-Life Alyx early this year, I said there's no game that's gonna come close to this at the end of the year. And 2 hours in, I'm thinking, well, Half-Life, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I mean, I'm not saying it is, but this this one is coming with swinging. So it's gonna be an interesting conversation at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think cable physics.
Yes.
That is absolutely wicked. Like, it's a weird thing to be talking about, but my God, the cable physics is brilliant, or rope physics, whatever you want to call it. That was brilliant. I felt. Maybe it's just because I noticed it more because I've literally just played through all of the Uncharted games, but I did find this very Uncharted. I see a lot of similarities with Uncharted, more so than in the previous one, in terms of some of the mechanics and some of the sort of camera work and stuff like that. I'm definitely seeing their work from Uncharted play through. Oh, and yes, it has a brightness setting more like Gears of War. So yeah, well done.
They listened to you.
Yeah, they did listen to me.
That's why it was delayed. They had to add it quickly after Marius complained.
Yeah, and like actually, generally the options are I like. There's so many different. I think they've done a great job in both from in terms of accessibility. And gameplay. There's so many different things that you can tweak on the options for various different things, even down like an example. I tend to, if I'm playing a story-based game, I tend to put subtitles on, because if Kim's around and talking and things going on, and sometimes I miss what's going on from the audio, so I always put subtitles on. And there's like, what size do you want the subtitles? Do you want the name of the character who's speaking being on the subtitles? Do you want a different colour for different characters on the subtitles? There's just so many. Whereas normally it's subtitles on or off. and that's just one example. That level of depth sort of play. I'd love to know what's happening there, but I won't ask live.
Let's just say that the window was closed and there was no insects inside here. Now the window is closed. The fucking room is full of insects. Let's just say that, and I didn't open the window.
Your facial expression said a lot there. Yeah, so like I really praise them for the all the different options there. I think the sound mix is amazing. The sound really does a great job. I think that's absolutely brilliant. My one and only concern around the whole thing really is, will my PS4 make it to the end? Because that bad boy is being pushed to within an inch of its life. Bearing in mind this was an original day one PS4. I've got my fingers crossed. Otherwise, I might have to come and borrow someone's PS4.
I've got a spare one, Marius.
My PS, cool. I have the PS Pro, and it's not even because I had to replace it because mine broke, if you guys remember. So it's not even a day one PS Pro. It's like a later one, but I think it's louder than the Gent Engine. My PS4 is louder. My PS4 Pro is louder than my PC. My PC has 8 fans on it altogether. Altogether there's 8 fans on my PC, and at load, fully like going crazy. My PC is not as loud as my PlayStation with 1 fan. That thing is loud as anything, and it gets hot. I went there to put the headphone charging at the end, and my hands were burning. I'm like, what the fuck is coming from here, from this furnace in the back here? So I worry about my console as well. I have the PlayStation, talking about the sound, I have the PlayStation Platinum headset, so it has all the 7.1 bullshit, but tuned for, because they tune it specifically for that headset, which is quite good. So yeah, it's quite the sound design is great on it. I've actually recently played the first one as well, the remastered edition. I didn't finish it because I didn't have time to finish it. I played all the way to, they got to the university part, so near the giraffe part. So quite a bit. And playing again the remastered edition, like a 7-year-old game, right, made me think this game is still great. This game is still really good, actually. So I went in straight away to the new one. I haven't played the other one, and it's night and day. They really brought the medium forward with this one. So there's going to be more on this definitely on the next podcast, when more than likely myself and Marius would have finished the game by then, I would imagine. And
that's entirely possible. I mean, this is a sure sign of how good the game is. Being the father of a 13-month-old child, I actually relinquished sleep in order to play this game. And that is not something that you generally do.
I too was playing late last night to play the game as well.
And there was a point at which I seriously considered completely foregoing sleep and doing an all-nighter, but I realised that was just mental talk. This is the first game in those 4 hours I played were constant. That was like, I didn't put the pad down for those 4 hours, and it's been a long time since a game's got me like that.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely more on this on the next podcast, and there'll be obviously a spoiler cast edition of the game as well. Are you gonna get the game yourself, Ben, or?
I will, but to be honest, I'm not fussed. I will get to it, but I think with the original, I got really overhyped with the E3 announcement, and when I played it, it didn't live up to my hype that I built myself. So when they announced the second one, I thought, right, I am going to stay well away from this. I'm not going to get excited, so that if it is a disappointment for me, then it's a shock at the time. But I will get to it. I have been toying with the idea of replaying the original, for quite some time now. But just getting time to play games, and definitely games I've already played is not
Fun
thing at
fact.
the minute.
Fun fact:
Um,
when the first one came out, which was a great game, obviously, I think we all agree with that. It did not win the Monkey Tail Game of the Year that year. Can you guys remember what game won the game that year? 2013.
Journey.
No, Journey didn't win the game.
No idea. Can't remember.
GTA 5 won. And
right.
it's hard to argue
Fair
against it's hard to argue against GTA 5 though, isn't it? It's hard to argue.
Yeah, it is hard to argue against that, to be fair.
Yeah, and Bioshock Infinite came third that year, so that was a good year actually. Some good games back then. Right. Let's move on then with the games we've been playing. Ben, are you gonna jump off? Are you?
Yeah, it probably good time for me to say goodbye. Unfortunately, I've got a hard out today, but good to see you guys. Enjoy playing the games, and I will catch up with you later.
I'll catch you later then, Ben. All
See
right.
you next time.
See you next time.
Cheers, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Right, Marius.
Yes, that's me.
Disco Elysium.
Oh, you played that?
I purchased the game, and I started playing the game. I bought the game to play and to stream, and after doing one stream of it, I decided that I'm not going to stream that game any longer. But mainly because I don't think it's a game that lends itself to streaming, because there's a lot of reading reading different options, and unless you're going to read all the options out loud, then it just doesn't work. Even though I had people were generally interested in watching it, it's not a streaming game. But what it is a really, really interesting game that you should play. So you play a detective. It's no detective story. So you play detective, and you literally the first thing you do is you're talking to your inner systems. You're talking to your brain. You're talking to everything. You're trying to wake up, and then you wake up and you naked on the hotel room floor. The whole thing is smashed to pieces. And before even that, you have to assign points to your character. And there's only so many points you can put. So I put mine being a very intelligent cop, but because I put so much points into intelligence, I had to lose, say, on strength and other and on my psychic as well. I had to, you have to pick. So you can be a very strong cop but dumb as a rock, or you can be a very intelligent cop but obviously not as strong, etc. And the first thing you do is you're trying to obviously get dressed, and then you're trying to find your shoes. And then because I was very intelligent, I was able to look at the window and do an assessment of what happened. And it actually shows the shoe trajectory went through there, and you find the shoe. So you put the shoe, but you only have one shoe on. So now you're walking like hop thing, and you're like, okay, shit, I don't know what that shoe is. I'm gonna have to go like that. And then one thing has happened as well, which is funny. On the bottom shows your health and everything, and it didn't have a picture of my character. I'm like, what the fuck is happening there? Whatever. So I not even think about that for a second. Let me keep it going. So I go downstairs, this hotel, and after talking to a few people, I talk to this guy that's waiting for me, and he's another cop that's coming to help you on this investigation for this murder, right? And then he says, "What's your name?" And then you haven't got an option for your name because you don't remember your name because you're so drunk. You actually don't remember your name. So you go like, and then you have a few options, and then you're trying to you don't even know you're a cop, by the way. But only by talking to people you start realizing that you're a cop. And at one point I had to call the precinct, and you don't know your name, so you're like, what's my name? And they say a name. Oh fucking whatever, they say like a name, whatever, fucking got really drunk again and forgot his name. And then if you had more points on physicality and not intelligence, you would have believed that it was your name. But they were giving a name of a fictional cop from the TV, calling you that, like calling you Colombo or whatever, yeah. But if you didn't have enough points into intelligence, you would have thought that was your name, and then you would have probably started introducing yourself as that because you would have believed that was your name going forward. So there's lots of different ways to play the game depending on where you put your points. But because I have lots of points in intelligence, you have like encyclopedia knowledge as well. So whenever somebody says something, wherever came from, or they use a word, it goes like encyclopedia knowledge. That word means this. So then other options come up because you know what that word means. But then again, there was a guy I had to punch because he was being a little bitch, and I tried to punch him. Every single action, by the way, like not every single action, any action which is important, you have to roll a dice, and then you have a high probability of, depending on your stats, you have a high probability of winning or not. And because my physicality was not that great, I wanted to punch this kid. Yes, I wanted to punch a kid, and I missed, you know. But then if I had more points on that, I would have been able to obviously punch him and complete that part. You also find out you owe like quite a lot of money because you trashed the room, and you have to to find that money before 9 o'clock. Otherwise, you're going to be sleeping rough on the street. And obviously, if you sleep rough, you lose, health and everything. It's really interesting game, and I'm probably not making it justice explaining it. But the other thing as well, which I liked, is you have thought processes as well, thought cabinets they call it. So when I was talking to one character, he said something very sexist, and I corrected him on it, or I challenged him on that. And then once the conversation ended, I won a thought cabinet called feminist, So then you can add that as one of your principal things, so that you get more conversational options when you're being a feminist, and it gives you a better conversation ability over men as well. So there's different thoughts and different things you can start building into your character, which will bring different options later on to talk. You also find out you lost your badge and your gun, and you're trying to find both of them. And I've now found out, I'm further into the game, I found out that I've actually pawned my gun. so I'm trying to find out who bought the gun from me. And the badge, I have no idea what the fuck the badge is. I also found my shoe. So the moment I was trying to find my second shoe, it comes up as an active quest. You need to find your other shoe. And then I managed to find it, and then actually get it completed. Oh, the shoes are reunited now. And then you can have both shoes on. Clothes and everything. Oh yeah. Lots of things like that. It's a really, really interesting RPG point and click adventure game, like nothing else I've seen before. It
sounds brilliant. Yeah, I've had my eye on it for some time, to be fair. Well, it won all the awards, didn't it, last year?
Yes. I got it because Epic Store. It was cheap on Epic Store.
Right. Okay. So you're still playing it, although not playing it on stream.
Yes. Yeah. And that. By the way, more on that, because for me to play a game and not stream, it shows how good the game is. Because if I'm either streaming or I'm not streaming, so for me to be playing the game and not streaming it, it shows how good the game is. And it's just not a great game to stream because I'm having to read every single option. Oh, it's very funny. It's very funny as well. And you can be whatever type of cop you want. So I decided to be a good cop, but I'll take bribes because I need the money. So I'll take some bribes if from the right people. And there was a guy selling fake clothes, and I managed to get him to do a contribution, so for me to look the other way, kind of thing. So there's some things you can do like that, which are quite funny. Oh, there was one as well. There was these guys playing balls, like and I got there and the option was I had an option just to play the game, but the other option was play the game or learn about the game first. I'm like, no, I know balls, but then I forgot I know balls. My character doesn't. He picks the ball, just throws it into the sea, and I'm like, what are you doing? and then the guy goes like, you owe us a ball. Now one of my quests is I have to find him a fucking ball now to replace the one I throw into the sea, because I was too stupid to learn about the game first. I was too like, oh no, I know balls, but no, I know, but my character doesn't. So
you know balls.
The game balls. Anyway. That's Disco Elysium, and it's excellent. It's truly excellent. It's a truly unique game. It's unlike anything I played before. It's funny. It's intelligent. It's innovative. I mean, you can lose the game just by having a bad conversation and losing yourself into your psyche. That's you can game over from there. So yeah, it's excellent. You should play it. Yeah, on Epic Games they had it for 20 £5, but like with or 20 something pounds, but with a voucher. So it's like £12. I think I paid for it in the end or something, which was definitely worth it. It's worth the 20 odd anyway, but it was worth, it's even better then. Right, you've been playing more Republic Commando. It looks like you finished it now.
Yes, I have finished Republic Commando. So just a few things to add. I mean, the music is amazing in that game. Obviously, they use the orchestral score from the soundtracks, I think, or very similar to anyway, from the movies. So that worked really well. I think that it has some issues with, like, some of the enemies are just fucking bullet sponges. They just absolutely cane your ammo, and like it's interesting playing these older games. Like what, like having played, if I'd played this at the time, I probably would have been blown away by some of the stuff, some of the set pieces there. But now it just feels so small, and there's nothing big there. Like when you've just played all the Uncharted and all the things that are happening in those set pieces, and then The Last of Us 2, it's just like the difference is huge because of the technology that they had. And then the ending is also rather disappointing and clearly set up for a sequel that unfortunately never happened. But it was.
Oh, have I?
I've done it again.
Yeah.
That was really quick. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what it's actually done is sort of prompted me. I thought, you know what? A while ago, I bought a load of Star Wars games in some bundle or something. So I've got a few on my Steam list. So I thought, you know what? There's actually quite a few on my Steam library that I've never played before. So I thought I might have a little bit of a Star Wars binge and have a go at some other Star Wars games. So I then moved on to Dark Forces, which is even further back in time. Obviously, essentially, it's a bit like Doom, but with Star Wars. And I mean, I only got a couple of levels in, to be honest with you. It's a little bit too far back in time. It just, like, I mean, it was fun, and I enjoyed it for what it is. But like, it's one of the, like, a lot of auto, like there's no up and down. You can't aim up and down. It just like auto aims if there's people higher than you. More than anything for me, it's the lack of like an auto save, or in fact a save option. You have to finish the levels before you can save and stuff like that. And it's like the way my life is now, I don't have time for that. But there may or may not be more Star Wars games to come in the future. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to continue playing through my Star Wars games, but
I mean, I know you're going through your Star Wars games, and that's commendable. But I really want you to play the latest Star Wars game, whatever it's called. I forgot the name of it now. Because that game is, you will definitely like that game. That will be up your street, because it has all the modern comforts of great games, and it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I'll get to it eventually. There's just other things that are more important to me than that game.
You also played Man of Medan. I've heard of this game.
Yes, I did. This is a not for you game. This is the follow-up from the makers of Until Dawn.
Yes. The
sort of horror movie story game, and it's more of the same basically from them. It's just not as good, unfortunately. I don't know. There was something about Until Dawn that made it brilliant. We've only played a little bit. What they have done on this one, they've increased their multiplayer options. So they saw from the original, from Until Dawn, that a lot of people streaming it and stuff like that, and getting other people, like streamers, to the audience, to make decisions for them and stuff like that. So they've sort of incorporated more of that sort of thing in by adding some multiplayer modes. So I played Until Dawn twice. The second time, Kim watched me play through the whole game, and because I'd already played it once, she made all the choices for me, apart from one that I vetoed because I knew that was a bad one, and I wanted to see what the alternative was. But other than that, she made all of the choices. So it's basically on a pass the pad. So at the start, you each pick there's 6 characters, I think. So you each pick 3 characters, and whenever that character is in the story, that person is playing the game.
Yeah.
Basically, so that works really well. The problem is Kim's not a gamer. She plays games, things like Disney games and stuff like that, or what I would call games for kids. Is the sort of things that she might play, and she'll play them she'll ask me for some. I'll buy her one for Christmas or something, and she'll play it for a couple of hours, and then she's sort of done with
stamina.
it. No stamina, and just not the level of interest that we have. So she doesn't know the buttons for fucking QTEs. So like whenever a QTE comes up, that they're pretty much always failed because they're so quick. Like for me, it's like obviously relatively easy as far as QTEs go, but for someone who doesn't play games, Kim's having to look down to remember where the triangle button is or whatever. So that's made it slightly difficult from Kim's perspective. The visuals are brilliant. It has that weird thing of because it's fixed camera angles. It has that thing of what direction do you hold the stick in when the camera angle changes. Which is a little bit annoying. So yeah, we'll see. It's one of those. It seems mediocre at the moment. I'm hoping to continue. I think it's only about 3 or 4 hours long, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I do hope to continue playing it and finish it. But The Last of Us has probably scuppered any further progress on Man of Medan for some time.
Yeah, I mean, Last of Us. Unfortunately, I cannot stream it because I got a capture card especially for this. For this and other games obviously on PlayStation, and I wrestled with it, and I couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do. So in the end, I just sent it back, and I said, you know what, I'm playing Last of Us for myself only.
Just play it, yeah.
Because by the way, I know you're saying you're playing it on the bog standard PlayStation with the bog standard TV, yeah. But believe you me, that thing in 4K HDR looks redonkulous.
Oh my god, I can only imagine what it looks like. I'm just playing it at 1080 and it still looks fucking brilliant.
I'm not 100% sure if it's 4K or if it's like sometimes they go slightly lower than 4K, but yeah. whatever it is, it looks good.
I can only imagine.
Sometimes the frames drop a bit I think sometimes they drop a bit. It's to be expected, but nothing crazy so far from what I played. Right, let's just talk about the final game I want to talk about, which is GTFO. Get the fuck out. The game. Have you heard about it at all?
Yes, I have. Someone at work mentioned and tried to get me involved, but it's not. It's not my sort of thing. I did watch a little bit of you playing it the other night, just when I was in between. I think I was waiting for EA thing or something, and I caught a few minutes of it, but not much.
I actually think that's a game. I mean, that you would actually enjoy. In all seriousness, but it's if you saw a bit of it, it's GTFO. Essentially, it's a game where, first of all, it's a difficult game, and I like difficult games. It's a difficult game that you need to play as a team. Now, you can go and play any of the levels on your own. The problem is the scale is always for 4 players. The game is always scaled for 4 players on hard. Yeah. So if you want to go and do the game on your own, that's great. But you're gonna get all the resources for 4 players, but you're playing on your own, right? So it's a game where you have to play as a team. You have to proper talk about the load you have. So okay, one of us needs to have a sniper just to take care of that type of enemy that shows up, because there's an enemy which is like a scout that if he alerts, you have to fight everyone there, but you also get some other enemies to come from behind you. So like for instance, for that, so you need to have a sniper for that. So one of you has to take turrets. The other one has to take that. You have like that radar to see who's coming as well, like in Aliens. So one of you might have to take that to be able to. You're the one just seeing where they are. But it's a game where teamwork is essential. And if you're only as weak as the weakest member of your team. It's as simple as that. So if you have a player which likes to go Rambo and just goes forward and starts trying to shoot and he keeps going down, you have to pick him up. You're not gonna win the game. You're not gonna finish the level because it's not gonna work. So discipline is everything, and I love that about it. You really need to work together, and it's also a game which is very tense because, for instance, this they call them sleepers. This zombie type creatures, right? Yeah, let's go with zombie. They're like asleep. They call sleepers on these rooms, and you have to walk slowly up to them and try and kill them. So you can kill them with a melee weapon, which saves ammo because ammo is very scarce, right? But it's dark. If you turn your flashlight on and flash one of them, they wake up. All of the room wakes up. You then go from stealth to everyone to action stations, and team killing is on. So you can imagine shooting in the dark. You're going to be shooting at your own teammates if you're not careful. But sometimes they start making noise and everything, and they go in sync with the other ones. So if you're gonna kill them, you have to kill them all at the same time. So you have to have 3 people sneaking up to each of them, for instance, and then count 1, 2, 3, smash, and they all go down at the same time. If one of them fails, everyone wakes up. So teamwork is super essential. And the only thing you have to do is you have to do standard things. One of them is you have to go and you have this load you have to carry, and whoever's carrying the load cannot use the gun, for instance. Yeah, you have to take it all the way to one part of the map and then bring it back. But you have to open security doors in the way. You might have to need a key card. So if you need to find the key card, there's actual terminals. You have to actually type into the terminals, ping key card, which sector it is, and then you have to try and work out a way to get there. The maps are always the same, but locations of the items are different every time. And the door numbers are different as well, so you don't know which door numbers to key. So there's a lot of that. I never go for the typing because I always make spelling mistakes and I never get anything. And then there's other the second level is you go. There's 4 like power cells you have to go and grab, and then put them all together and essentially restart the generator, and then go back to extraction point and try and survive. But yeah, it's just a game like that, and it's great. It's truly a great game. It's a great co-op. In fact, I would go as far as saying is the best co-op game I played online in terms of actual cooperating with each other and actually working as a team. I haven't played any game like that which is as good as that. That's why I said I actually think you might enjoy it. Actually, playing with the right people, I think you would enjoy that game actually as well. It's fun, yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of that. I've only beat the first 2 levels so far. One of the times we were playing, somebody was hosting the game, and we were finishing the second level. We were 57% extraction done, and then his internet goes. If I could kill him in real life, I would have. I'm not gonna lie. After struggling there. But yeah, I want to play a lot more of that game. But it's one of those games that, as I'm playing it, and there's all those lights and everything from the flashlight and all of that. Oh yeah, the flashlight is hilarious as well, because the flashlight can activate the guys. Whenever you're opening a door, you always look back. Fuck's sake, turn your flashlight off. Oh yeah, sure, sorry. Yes, one of those games where you fucking always shouting at your team because they have the flashlight on still. But yeah, it's a game that I would like to see ray tracing on. I think this is a perfect game for ray tracing on this game. Would be wicked actually. So see if they add something like that in the future. But I'll be playing a lot more of that game, and it's a game that streams really well, so people like watching like that because they like they know you're only one moment away from fucking everything up and all of you dying as well, which is great. Yeah, so that's GTFO, and it's highly recommended. I mean, actually, some my 3 games I played, Disco Elysium, GTFO, and Last of Us Part 2, they're all highly recommended, all excellent video games actually. So that's some good games to talk about today. Should we move on to the Why Don't You part of the show, which is the part of the show where we give a recommendation of something to watch or read or see. You want to talk about Be Water. What's that?
It is a new documentary about Bruce Lee. I watched it on BT Sport. I think it's an ESPN in other territories and stuff. So yeah, it's I mean, quite a fan of Bruce Lee. He's obviously pretty good at what he did. And there's been lots of things said about him and lots of documentaries and stuff like that. But I thought this was quite a good one, told in a slightly different way, using a lot more sort of footage of him and people people who knew him talking in voiceover with sort of pictures of him and them together and sort of old footage and stuff. And I think this one is excuse me, interesting because it talks a bit more about the culture at the time and delves into a bit more about the sort of racism at the time and how he got sort of first attempt to make it in America essentially failed because he was an Asian and Hollywood weren't ready for that. So it sort of covers that sort of topic in a bit more detail than anything I've seen before. So yeah, I would recommend.
No, it sounds really interesting. Have you seen the latest Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I haven't.
There's a depiction of Bruce Lee in that movie, which a lot of people found problematic. I mean, because it's a movie and it's a fictional movie, I thought for it was just Tarantino being Tarantino. But I wanted to get your input on it, but you haven't seen it, so maybe some other time we'll...
I've heard there was some complaint. I think in particular his family
yes.
complained about his depiction.
It's mainly because he's playing a douchebag and then gets in the fight and actually gets his ass kicked by the stuntman. Which like I said, it's a movie, right? It's not,
it is a movie. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a movie. It's
but it's a depiction of a real person who has family and friends. So
yes.
you if you depict him as a bit of a dick, then you have to expect those people to perhaps be a little upset about that if they don't think that's the way he was. And look, who knows? Maybe he was a bit of a dick.
I don't know.
Like,
it's a movie. I agree with you though. It's a movie. If you're talking about I actually don't know if they actually mention him by name. So that's the thing. I think even though it's clearly Bruce Lee, I don't think they actually say his name. So I think that's how they circumvented it. It's clearly Bruce Lee, but they don't, no point that they call him Bruce Lee, I don't think, or anything like that. So it's
right. Okay. Would you recommend the movie itself? Is
absolutely.
It a classic Tarantino?
Absolutely, it's one of his best. Excellent, actually. Yeah,
cool.
Really excellent. I haven't got a recommendation, but based on what we were talking about The Last of Us, Martin has a recommendation on YouTube, so anyone can watch this. It's a documentary. It's about an hour and a half long, I think. I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to watch it because it sounds awesome. It's Grounded, the making of The Last of Us. And apparently they play it in his school for like anyone learning video game development, stuff like that. Always, it's because everyone thinks video game development is easy, but apparently in here the documentary shows everything about the mocapping, etc., everything that goes into making a video game. So that sounds really
that does
awesome.
sound interesting.
Yeah, Grounded, the making of The Last of Us, and it's available on YouTube. So no subscription required. That'll be linked on the show notes. And I'm really looking forward. I know you're just finishing this one here. I'm really looking forward to the next episode already, because there'll be more Last of Us talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited to finish that game. That's gonna be a great game, and I'm looking forward to doing the spoiler cast part of it as well. So I think we can go proper in depth on that. But don't worry, next podcast there'll still be no spoilers, but just more overall impressions. So hopefully we finish the game by then. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. So I think I'm done myself. Have you got anything else to add yourself, Marius?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think we can call it done.
I think we can call it a show. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Martin did comment earlier that your light looks better. I agree.
I did see that. Yeah.
And
it's never going to be perfect because of the way I've got the room set up, but
it's certainly
it does
good.
look better.
and obviously no van from Ben. No, we do like the. I mean, the quality was still shit. So
It was in the van.
I mean, on a van, it was quality was better. So I don't know what was happening there, but well, that's what you get. The production values from Monkey Tail. I mean, you got half a green screen behind me because I cannot be bothered to pan the camera. I mean, that's how I have it set up for live streaming because it cuts off from here anyway, so you don't see the sides. You don't see Wally. Hello. Anywhere, but yeah. No, not it wasn't live from the van today. But you said something, and I forgot what I'm gonna have to when I edit the podcast. I'm gonna have to go back to the beginning. You said something at the beginning, which was a podcast title, and I something about the pretty and eyes or something. He says.
Yeah, make the graphics come on. Make the good graphics come on the telly or something.
Something
like
that. Yeah, I think that's going to be the podcast title. So I need to look for that. But yes. Until next week. No, until 2 weeks from now. I've been Bruno Pinto.
I've been disappointed with the fact that I need to sleep.
Wouldn't it be better if sleeping was not a thing?
It would be great.
But then if sleeping was not a thing, the work week would be higher, it would be longer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, to be honest, just for me, I'd like other people to still sleep, but me not require the sleep. So then I could play all the video games I could play all the video games at night while Steph is asleep, and I don't have to concentrate on keeping a small human alive.
Would you consider being a vampire? Meaning that you would only be able to go out at night. You can never go out in the day anymore, but you can still go out at night. You would live forever, and that's pretty much the only downfalls.
Nah, I'm not really up for immortality, to be honest.
No? What about being an immortal? So then, when you're not up for immortality anymore, just let somebody chop your head off.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. If you've got an owl.
Yeah, because what was it called?
Highlander.
Highlander. He's got it right there because he can go out at night during the day and during the night, and whenever he's bored, he can just let himself get his head chopped.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, when you've had enough, if you've got an owl, I could then be on board.
I used to love Highlander. Wasn't that a movie, Highlander movie as well with Sean Connery?
Sean Connery, yes. And. I forgot his name. He went on to play Raiden in the Mortal Kombat movies. Yes. Christopher Lambert.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah, I want to watch that now. I in my head, it's a good movie. I bet it's terrible.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's not real. It's secretly a bad movie, but everyone remembers it and goes, "Oh yeah, Highlander." But I think people forget.
Need to convince the girlfriend to watch Highlander tonight. I think Highlander. No, I'm getting a firm no from the eyes. oh, maybe. So yes, maybe.
Does she know what Highlander is? Or does she have knowledge of Highlander?
No, I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so. The eyes tell me no. We'll see. Maybe we'll see what it is. Oh, we got a notification of some sort.
While you're looking at that, I'm just gonna drop a second. Why don't you? While I think about it.
Before you say it, sorry, Saggy Nuts, great name. Thanks for the follow.
That is a great name. Well done. Yeah, I'm just going to drop in a second recommendation. Money Heist.
Oh, Money Heist, yeah, the Spanish one.
Netflix Spanish one, yes.
Question about Spanish stuff, yeah, about that on Netflix, right? Because Netflix, depending on the user profile, they change things, right? So if I go and watch Money Heist, they'll put it in Spanish with English subtitles, right? But if Emilia goes and watches Money Heist, it'll be English dubbed. Which one do you have?
Well, for episode 1, it came up English dubbed.
Yeah.
Which I left on because I was watching it with Kim, and sometimes Kim's not that keen on the whole subtitle thing, so I was like, "Oh, I'll let it go."
Yeah.
But it's awful.
Of course.
As normal, and actually Kim wasn't feeling it, so we changed it to the correct way, which is Spanish with English subtitles. But then the next 2 times I put it on, those subtitles changed. It remembered that I wanted subtitles, but it changed them to the audio description subtitles. So it was then telling me loud noise in the background, or you can hear music playing. And I'm like, no, I don't need that. I can hear okay. I just can't understand the words.
Yeah.
So it did that for the next 2 times. And then the 3rd time after, it then remembered that I just wanted English normal subtitles. So I don't know how it made those decisions. It was bizarre.
It's weird. It's all to do with the I mean the data they have in the background, but definitely Amelia definitely told me in the past, like, I've seen that movie. I'm like, well, you don't like reading the subtitles, right? So why did you watch that Spanish movie? It wasn't Spanish. It was, I'm like, was it not? And then oh, it's dubbed, so they obviously that's how they work with the algorithm. They're like, okay, so you like these movies, here we go, we'll put them all in English for you, have a field day, right? So I think it's interesting how they do it anyway. But Money Heist, I hear good things about it anyway.
Money Heist, yes. If you do not understand Spanish, then watch it in Spanish with English subtitles. If you want to know about loud noises in the background, feel free to go audio describe subtitles. But yeah, it's really good. I think 5 or 6 episodes in so far, and I am loving it. It's essentially this gang of criminals who have this plot to rob the royal mints, basically. But obviously they set it up so it looks as if they're just going to steal the money, but actually what they're going to do is go in there and print the money. So their objective is to stay in the building for as long as they possibly can, because the longer that they're in the building, the more money they'll be able to print. Which I thought was quite a cool concept. And then it's the sort of negotiations between the police and the robbers, and like they not really a spoiler, it's pretty early on, but like they all wear these particular, like this red jumpsuit and the Dali mask, the artist, Salvador Dali, and they get all of the it's the Royal Mint, so it was full of people at the time, so they get all of the hostages to wear the same jumpsuits and face masks as well.
So essentially Inside Man. Have you not seen Inside Man?
No.
What? You need to watch Inside Man. You need to watch Inside Man.
Okay.
It's what's his name? Clive Owen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And his team of robbers go to rob this bank as well. But what they do is, again, they put all masks on and they put all the hostages dressed the same. But what they do is they keep changing them rooms. They keep changing them from room to room.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep going like, you move to here, you move to here, and then at the end, when the police does come in to get everyone, there's only hostages. So they don't know who is the robber. So they have to interview every single one of them, but not who did it. But none of them really know who the fuck it is, because they never see anyone, because they keep moving them from room to room as they rob in the place. It's really good, actually. You should watch. Inside Man is a great heist movie, actually, and it's on Netflix. So there we go. So many recommendations.
Any more?
No, that's it. I'll write it here so I don't forget to put it on the show notes on the podcast. But yes, Inside Man. I'll put that on as well there. Right. So
let's call it.
Let's call it. And the podcast will be out proper on Tuesday. Everything going well, or Wednesday, depends how it is. But yes, we'll see you again in 2 weeks for another podcast. So thank you very much for joining. I've been Bruno Pinto, and I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah, bye-bye, internet people.